Is something burning?
My spinach puffs! Saved them!
That's great. Good job.
Very good job.
Watch it. They're still hot.
Good work, Kronk.
Oh, they're so easy to make. I'll get you the recipe.
Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to Binging with Babish, where this week we're taking a look at Kronk's Spinach Puffs from The Emperor's New Groove. To me, he will always be David Puddy. Whoever he is, we need some spinach to make spinach puffs, so we're going to start off with some spinach. Freshly rinsed, and we're going to remove all the stems. Removing the stems is really more of an aesthetic thing. You can leave them on if you want, but I like to take them off. Then we've got a few fresh herbs here. Before we combine them, I'm going to start by roughly chopping the spinach into small bite-sized pieces. Finally chopping 3 to 4 tablespoons of dill. I like a lot of dill. You can tone that back if you want. And finally mincing 1 shallot that we're going to bring over to some preheated olive oil and saute until soft and translucent, about 2 minutes, at which point we are going to add 3 large cloves of crushed garlic. Do the whole classic saute for 30 seconds or until fragrant deal. Crushed garlic can burn pretty quickly, so don't overdo it, and then add the spinach. This stuff cooks down to pretty much nothing very quickly, so you can add more than I'm adding here, but we want to add a little bit of salt to encourage moisture loss and watch it shrink. Once our spinach has given up most of its water, we're going to add the dill and cook minimally because we want it to maintain its earthy herbiness. So after those flavors have just barely gotten to know each other, we're going to season with salt and pepper, then take off the flame to let cool for a bit while we start messing with cheese. I've got about 4 ounces of full fat cream cheese here, to which I'm going to add maybe half a cup of feta and optionally an additional 2 to 4 ounces of grated Parmesan. Do this at your own risk. The human tongue can only handle so much flavor. Now, while still warm, we're going to add the spinach mixture to the cheese mixture and mix it all together into a mixture, to which we're also going to add 1 egg yolk for a little bit of structure, and 2 or 3 slices of bacon, cooked crisp and chopped fine. Why? Because there isn't any rule saying I can't or shouldn't. Add that in, mix it all together, and there we have our spinach, herb, garlic, cheese, bacon affair. So now it's time to prep our puff pastry. Now we've gone over how to make puff pastries from scratch in the Mad Men episode, and since I've done that once, I'm not going to do it again. I'm going to use some store-bought stuff because it's way easier. Making your own puff pastry is kind of like making your own Kit Kats. Sure, you could, but why would you do that? Roll out your puff according to the manufacturer's operating instructions and cut it into 3 to 4 inch squares. There are any number of ways that you could shape these together, but we're going to go for the sort of trumpet appearance that Kronks have in the movie. We're going to place these on a parchment-lined baking sheet, spoon about 2 tablespoons of our mixture into the center, and brush 2 edges of the puff pastry square with a beaten egg. This is going to act as a bit of glue to help keep our puff pastry package pristine. Once you've got the edges brushed, go ahead and crimp them together, forming a sort of cornucopia. Make sure you've crimped the edges together tightly because puff pastry seams love to explode. By the way, in the background we have our oven preheating to 400 degrees Fahrenheit. We've made room in the fridge for a sheet pan, and I'm listening to 80s power ballads. Do not skip these steps. Once all of our parcels have been pinched, we're going to place this whole thing into the fridge uncovered for about 10 minutes because puff pastry plays nicer when it's cold. 10 minutes later and fresh out the fridge, we're going to give these guys an egg bath all over. Make sure you don't miss any surface area because you will be left with some pallid dull spots on your pastry. Now into the oven they go for 20 minutes or until golden brown and puffed. Go ahead and rotate the tray halfway through if you want even more even browning. I recommend putting these on a rack to cool because you might find once you put them on a plate that they're way too hot to eat. I've been doing this show long enough to know when not to put something in my mouth. So I'm going to give these guys another 10 minutes before digging in. And before I even eat one of these things, I can tell you immediately that we got ourselves a Clean Plate Club member. I mean, it's just jacked up spinach and artichoke dip baked into buttery puff pastry. The odds of me not liking this are hilarious. In fact, I like them so much that I wanted to properly induct them into the Clean Plate Club, but cooler heads prevailed, and I elected to share them with my friends and family, who will hopefully appreciate them more than Yzma did.